Okay, today we're going to dive into a pretty wild idea, a mystery that, according to our source, is hidden not just in ancient symbols, but inside your own body. We're talking about a hidden code that connects spirituality, your anatomy, and your five senses. Let's get into it. So, let's start with a little puzzle. What on earth could all of these things possibly have in common? The answer? Well, it's pretty surprising. Think about it. The five wounds of Christ, the 5 points of a star, your own five senses, and even a very specific bone at the base of your spine. According to this framework, these aren't just random things. Nope. They're all pieces of a single, unified code that might just reveal a path to spiritual transformation. To start cracking this code, we have to look at one of history's most misunderstood figures and see it not as a being, but as a symbol. So, this perspective suggests we've got the story all wrong. Lucifer was never meant to be a person. The name itself literally means bright star, and it's a symbol for the 5-pointed star. This is a huge shift, right? It's not about a fallen angel, it's about a fallen star. Okay, so if the star is a symbol, what do its 5 points represent? Well, they represent your 5 senses: sight, taste, touch, smell, and hearing. The star is basically a map of your own perception. And that's the core idea here, that this ancient story is actually about you. But here's where it gets really mind-bending. This isn't just about abstract symbols and old books. The idea goes way deeper, suggesting the proof is literally built right into your own anatomy. I mean, that's a pretty bold claim, isn't it? The idea that an ancient spiritual science isn't just written down somewhere, but is physically present in the human body, just waiting for us to understand it. All right, so here's the first piece of anatomical evidence. At birth, every single one of us has 5 distinct vertebrae at the very base of our spine. You gotta remember that number, 5. But they don't stay that way for long. In early childhood, a really incredible transformation starts to happen. Those 5 separate bones, they begin to merge, to unify. They fuse into one single bone. And get this, what did the ancients call this bone? The sacrum. That literally translates to the sacred bone. 5 becoming one, right at a place our ancestors already revered as sacred. That's pretty wild. And here's where it all connects. This physical transformation from 5 vertebrae into one is a perfect mirror. It symbolizes the spiritual process of sacrificing the 5 senses, much like the 5 wounds, to achieve a single, unified consciousness. This all takes place in Golgotha, which simply means the place of the skull, because it's a transformation that happens within your own mind. So this brings us to a really crucial point in this whole idea. Your 5 senses are an incredibly powerful tool, but they can lead you down 2 very, very different paths. On one hand, when your ego is in the driver's seat, that's what's symbolized as the fall of Lucifer, the fall of that 5-pointed star. This leads you to a personal hell of addiction, gossip, and just being attached to material things. But on the other hand, if their dominance is sacrificed through a higher awareness, those exact same 5 senses become your gateway to heaven, or what you could call divine consciousness. So you're probably asking, okay, how do you actually navigate this? Well, this entire framework is presented as a kind of map for your own internal journey. And to be really clear, the source emphasizes this isn't meant to be some abstract theological idea or myth. It's presented as the science of spiritual anatomy, a practical, internal system. So here's what that path is said to look like. This journey of consciousness, which is sometimes called the serpent power or your life force, begins right at the sacrum, the place where 5 became one. From there, it rises up the spine through these key energy centers, and the entire journey culminates at the pineal gland, which is seen here as your direct connection to divine wisdom. And you know, this pattern isn't just a one-off. Once you see the code, you start to see it everywhere. The 5 loaves that feed thousands, the 5 stones David uses to defeat a giant, the 5 wise virgins. All of these are interpreted as hidden stories about mastering the 5 senses. But here is probably the most important takeaway from all of this. This isn't just about interpreting old stories or symbols from the past. The whole point is that this process, this transformation, is happening inside of you, right now. Your sacrum isn't just a bone, it's the foundation of your own potential spiritual journey. So we'll end on this thought. Right at this very moment, as you're seeing and hearing this, your five senses are active. This leaves us with a really powerful question. Which path are they serving? Are they serving the path of the ego and division, or the path toward unity and a higher consciousness? Well, that's something only you can answer.